Good evening. Ham Radio 2.0 Sunday night live stream. Guys, we're going to get started here in just a minute. Thanks for being here early. Should be a fun show tonight. All right, us shows 7 o'clock in Texas, and that is always a good sign for a good time to do that right there. Good evening, happy Sunday to everybody, and appreciate you guys being here. And we're gonna have a fun show for you tonight. Something that I learned about at the Huntsville Ham Fest, and I'm gonna bring on Jon and Tony here in just a minute. They're going to talk to us about a ham radio club effort they're doing in Middle Tennessee, which I thought was really fun. Something that I've actually that has happened in North Texas before, but I'm not sure if it's still active or not. So I might do a shout out to people in the North Texas area, in the Tarrant County area here in a little bit. Let me shout out first all the all the YouTube channel members. Folks in green text in the chat, thank you for your support. W4WAG. I see Ed, AC3IK in there, Jason Perez, Tom, WB7OUT, Wayne, W5WNR. Let's see, I'm going to see Jeff, AA4BC. Cooley is in there. Good evening, Cooley. Good to have you in the chat tonight. There's Ed again. Brian Hendricks, thanks for being in there. I saw Prep Ham Paul in there earlier. And Ham Radio Crusader was in there 20 or 30 minutes before the show started. I don't know if he's still hanging out or not, but Kendall, there you go. Thank you for being here. Jake K9DLO, another YouTube channel member. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. So what we're going to do is go over here. So those of you who have been following me for some time know that I started a subscription service for mystery boxes about in May of this year. So 3 boxes have gone out. It's every 60 days. So May, July, and September have gone out. A few orders have come in since then. The official renewal will go next month, just about a month from now, a little bit less than a month from now, in the first week of November. And I've been working with I actually created a brand new email list. If you go to hamradio2.com/email-sign up, you get my normal email list. If you're not subscribed over there, please go subscribe to that. But I created a brand new email list just for those people who were part of the subscription service, even those of you who might have canceled, because I am requesting and I'm requesting feedback, and I'm bouncing questions off of that group. So if you didn't get there you are, Freddie. What's up, dude? So if you didn't get if you have a subscription to the mystery box service and didn't get an invite, let me know. Hit me up in Discord or something, and I'll get you on that list. But getting a lot of really good feedback from people saying, hey, what about this? What about this? Because I've contacted over a dozen companies. Off the top of my head, CountyCom, VF Comms with the Faraday antennas, N9SAB, Tim, his antennas. Of course, we've already done Ed Fong antennas. We'll probably do some more of those soon. AP QuickCon, we've done those as well. BioNO batteries, CountyCom. I didn't say them, did I? Who else? Red Odo. B-Tech, gosh, I've got a list of them. I've got a spreadsheet of them, and a lot of names in there, right in the rain. A lot of names in there you guys should recognize. So it's going to be fun to see how those play out in future boxes. So thank you for the support of the mystery boxes. Feedback is, of course, welcomed, and I appreciate if you go up here to categories and click on mystery boxes, you can see the 3 subscriptions there. I'm actually working on maybe a 4th tier, a higher, more expensive tier. It's got some even extra stuff in it, but one thing at a time. I don't want to overburden myself right now, but that's where the mystery boxes are. There's a few of these $25 one-offs in here as well right now too. So thank you to those who support that again. After this live stream ends, we're going to go live on my Unplugged channel for the next installment of the RV Base Camp video podcast that I started a few months ago. Didn't do one of these last month because I was busy with the 30 Days of Ham Radio in September. So the guys who joined me on that, I asked them to wait a month, and they said, yeah, cool. And should have, I think, most everyone on tonight who usually joins us there. So I'll share a link to that towards the end of the live stream tonight as well. So, but that's the Unplugged channel right there. I'll put that link in the chat. And Excelsior level. I had named it Ultra level 45, but I don't know. I haven't. I'm not married to that, so whatever. We'll figure out something to call it. So, all right, let's stop me babbling. I don't like to babble too much. We haven't, and Frank hadn't joined us yet. I know he live streamed a little bit ago, but he's not in the waiting room. So I assume he's going to be on here tonight, but we'll see. Let's bring on Tony and Jon. Guys, good evening. How are you guys tonight?
Doing great.
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm hanging in there. So I'm enjoying getting back to live streaming on a regular basis. Took the whole month of September off, which was nice. It was nice because I've been live streaming on Sunday night for like 6 years, 6.5. And so it's nice to have a few nights off. But I'm glad to be back because this is fun. I really enjoy these live streams. So Tony and Jon are part of the Middle Tennessee Co-op, which I'm going to get them to explain that to what that is exactly here in a minute. Where's my screen? Oh, there it is right there. And this is the website here. Middle Tennessee Co-op, connecting communities through amateur radio, which is always a fun thing. And then I just learned about, shortly before we went live, that they have a podcast that they've started. Let me move that down there. It's called Whiskey Kilo. It is not WWK. It's actually Whiskey Kilo. So to me, that means you get 2 kilos of whiskey. I don't know. I don't know if you guys talk about. You guys it sounds like a clubhouse thing. I don't know.
You have to show up and find out, right? Listen, let's watch and find out.
Okay, good.
Some might think we're on a couple of bottles of whiskey if they watch it. So,
well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened on a ham radio live stream. I guarantee it. So, but yeah, so I'll share the link to that channel. You guys can go check that out. You guys go. You do a live stream once a month. Is that correct?
Yeah, right now we're just doing the last Sunday of every month. We're just trying to. We've done 2 episodes so far. It's a work in progress, we'll say. So
good. Okay. Well, let me get the elephant in the room out of the way. Frank, what's going on, man?
What is up, man? Just had an awesome live stream with Elle, getting to know her, and what's going on her channel, and that's mostly it. Other than, I could shut out some pint glasses.
Remind me, we will talk about that at the end because I forgot last time. That's my fault. I forgot. I talked about my mystery boxes here a minute ago, but yeah, we'll talk about the pint glasses at the end. Frank's got some new pint glasses on the same website where the mystery boxes are. So, but yeah, I want to give the floor to Jon and Tony, and we'll go from there. So Frank's going to watch the chat for any questions. And once again, we appreciate you guys being here. Okay, so tell us exactly what a ham co-op is. I already know this, but I want you to tell it for my audience. So tell us what a ham co-op is. Tell us how you came up with this idea, and how long you've been. You said you have 6 clubs involved now, I believe was the number.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this? So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah. So our 7th club will hopefully sign the first of the year. And really, this started at the beginning of 2025. Okay. Tony and I both were elected president of the radio clubs that we belong to, and we actually belong to each other's clubs, which is kind of the whole point behind the co-op, and we'll get into that. But I was elected the president of the Sumner County Club, and then Tony was elected president of the Nashville Amateur Radio Club. And it really kind of started for a couple reasons. And Tony's going to jump in here and elaborate too, I'm sure. But I'll be honest with you. Some of it was just out of laziness.
Well,
okay, we needed to have some more time to do ham stuff, and knew that trying to run a ham club and creating content programs for our members was going to be somewhat time consuming. And Tony and I, being really good friends and talking probably daily, multiple times a day, we started talking about, all right, well, what are we going to do? What's our programs going to look like for our club? What do we want our clubs to do? What do we want our clubs to be? How do we want to solve some issues that we may have with our club culture?
And
And
also just how to bolster the ham community in general.
yeah,
So getting more people involved, getting more resources to more people, and putting the resources in front of a lot of people. So if you were just a member of Sumner County and no other club, you might not have any idea what's going on at the Nashville Club or the Wilson County Club or any of the other clubs that are members. So we one of the first things we did was get a calendar together, and on that calendar we have every event, every net, every meeting for all the clubs on there, and you can take your mouse, hover over anything, and it'll give you all the information about it. If it's a net, it'll give you the frequency, the PL tone, everything of that nature. If it's an event, it'll give you the address and things of that nature. Same thing with the club meetings and everything. So it just puts a calendar of everybody's stuff in Middle Tennessee in one spot. So if you're a ham and you got nothing going on one day, you can pull that calendar up, and that calendar is on our website. It's on the Nashville website, the Sumner County website, all the club members, all the member clubs websites. It's on there, so anybody can pull something up and find out what's going on in and around Middle Tennessee.
so
Gotcha.
one of the things too, Jason, was like, first of all, we had some functions that we wanted to fill. What Tony's talking about is kind of some of the byproducts behind how we got there. But one of the functions that we were trying to accomplish was we wanted to help share our resources with each other first. If I had a presenter, a good topic, and I thought that maybe his group might be interested, his club might be interested, we could share that topic. So then we kind of started thinking about, well, what if we could do this with multiple clubs? If I live, it's kind of funny. I'm in the Sumner County club, but I actually live in Robertson County, which is basically an adjoining county. And um, the idea was is that, well, why can't we share resources, whether those resources be presenters, topics, events, and then we started thinking about it from a member standpoint. We had a lot of, the Nashville metro area has a lot of clubs and a lot of members that will travel, to those different counties to participate in events or even club meetings. So then we started looking at that and going, we should just try to form a big kind of conglomerate or a co-op where we could share members, events, resources,
One
and
of the one of the things I had came up with, I had an event that was coming up. John was doing his Sunday night net, and he does it on the linked repeater system for Sumner County, but it was a Nashville club event, and I wasn't sure because I didn't talk to him about it beforehand of whether I could say something about it. So that was, it's like I wanted to make sure that we could all share information, and I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes because I was talking about a Nashville event on a Sumner County, club repeater. So
Yeah.
it was kind of one of those things. And it's just, like I said, just sharing the information and sharing resources. And like John said, just laziness, because it's hard to fill. It's only 12 meetings a year, but it's hard to find somebody to get in there and do a presentation for every month, and be have something that's interesting and everybody's wants to come and come out to the club and check out. So
we kind of started looking at it from a standpoint and we wrote an agreement which we provide to all the clubs before they agree to participate. And one of the things I did was is I used wonderful Chat GBT to draft me up a mutual aid agreement. And I said, all right, now take this agreement and I want you to make it to a more social, event oriented agreement. So think
Okay.
about a mutual aid agreement between agencies and now take it and go, all right, these agencies are ham clubs, and the events and things that are happening are ham events. They're social things. And the real reason why we did it, aside from being lazy and wanting to share content, was we wanted to break down the silos, the walls between clubs that they have. You have the sad ham People have bad experiences, the whole thing with clubs.
Yeah.
So we wanted to create a social friendly environment for clubs to share content and members and events and resources with each other's clubs, purposely to make it easier and more enjoyable for the hobby. But also, the other probably the most important part of it was we get to know our neighbors. If there's a disaster in the Middle Tennessee area, had a lot of tornadoes. The tornado alley has moved, our way. It's moved to the east, and we now have the ability to know if something happens in Wilson County and it's a bad event, we know who to talk to there. We
Mhm.
know who the players are. We know somewhat how their systems work, and we can integrate easier with them in the event of an area's emergency or something of that matter. So the number one focus was a social thing, but
Mhm.
the big byproduct and advantage behind it is breaking down those barriers and being able to understand who the players are in our adjoining counties. So if there's an emergency, we're all there for each other.
It's good. Good. We had a thing like that in North Texas. This was pre-COVID, and I don't know if they've done it again since then. It's possible they have, and I just missed it. But there are in between Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas, is an area that we call mid cities, which is where I'm at, kind of right next to kind of the cities surrounding DFW Airport, which is about smack dab in the middle between Dallas and Fort Worth. And about once a quarter, we would get together as a joint Tarrant. I mean, I don't remember if they called it Tarrant County, because Johnson County and Wise County and
I think it was
a
just
couple
called
others.
the joint club meeting.
It was a joint club meeting, and there were probably 8 or 10 or 12 clubs that would show up to that.
Yeah.
Every time, and it was just a they would give the mic to each club president, or the president could delegate it if they wanted to, and they'd just say, this is what's going on in our club this month or this quarter or whatever, and they would just kind of share information across the board and do stuff like that. In fact, that was the first time. Now, my friend Randy, WA0D, he made an announcement on the first one of those that I ever went to, and he said he had announced a de-expedition they have done to Costa Rica a couple times, and I went up to him after that, and I knew Randy. I know him much better now, but I knew him. I'd met him back then, and I was like, man, I would love to go to Costa Rica, and now I've been like 4 times. So, but that was how I found out about that whole Costa Rica de-expedition, was because he was there announcing it to that big group of people. And I love, that's just a fantastic time to do that. But I think that's a very good thing for clubs in the area, surrounding areas of one another, to just keep the lines of communication. We're all about communications in ham radio, but sometimes we suck at communication. So
Yeah, I also
it's always
like
a fun thing to talk about.
I also like they took it on to the next tier there for emergency situations and creating their own interoperability communication plan.
Yes.
That blew me out away. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So do you guys have a couple of nets, you said, but are any of them like all of the co-op clubs in one net? I mean, everybody presumably most clubs have their own net, right?
Yeah,
But
and that's kind of where we're at is, and I think at some point we probably will. One of the things that we've been talking about, as a matter of fact, we just had our first big event as a part of the co-op yesterday at a park here in my hometown of Greenbrier. It was called the Middle Tennessee Ham Co-op Picnic, and it was very educationally centered. We had several sessions, classes. We had tailgate stuff. We had a bunch of different things kind of happening. But um, what we wanted to do is try to get everyone together at least once a year to get all the clubs in an environment where we can kind of enjoy hanging out and do something, give something back to the co-op and each other's clubs. And this was what we did yesterday, and it kind of opened up an opportunity for all of the repeater trustees, the club officers, to all start kind of talking. And because of us getting together, we've determined that, after the first of the year, all the trustees for all the repeater systems within our co-op, we're all going to get together and talk about what that real emergency plan would be and what we would need to do in order to get all of those repeater systems linked together in the event of an emergency. Not permanently, but just in the event of an emergency.
Yeah.
So, the Sumner
And it was
County,
a it was a it was a good.
system.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Tony. The Sumner County system is a 6 node repeater system. I think it's 6 sites, or at least 6 different frequencies. And
Okay.
we cover a good part of the Nashville metro area, even though that we're just one single county. And then there's, a lot of the other, well, all of the other counties have a repeater of some sort. So getting them all to kind of connect would be great in the event of, emergency disaster or some problem.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about yesterday. So yesterday, I think, was a very resounding, great day. We had a great participation. We raised some money for the Historical Society through the food vendor. And I think a lot of information was passed out, and a lot of people had a great time. And it was a good time. And I didn't really know what to expect going into it. When John and I first started talking about it, I was like, it might be 4 or 5 of us that show up. And I think we had probably 100 or so show up yesterday. So it was a
Nice.
really good. And we had representatives from all the different clubs, from all the clubs in the co-op, including some club, the newest club that probably going to bring in January. We had some members from their club as well. So it was a good day. It was a very good day. My presentation didn't go so well. My satellite presentation, I don't know what happened, but we did not make any contacts. But that's okay.
Oh,
That's okay. Yeah, that happens.
satellites be like that sometimes.
Yes, they do. So what does it take for a club to join the co-op then?
Well, I think, the first idea was when we started, we were just like Tony and I really kind of just thought the co-op, or at least I just thought, I don't know about Tony, but I just thought it would be our 3 counties. It would be Davidson County, Robertson County, and Sumner County. And they're like a cluster of 3 all together. And I thought that's really kind of all it would be. And we started talking about things, and kind of word got out, and Tony and I started going to some other club meetings. We started going to Wilson County, and we started going to the Stones River Club meeting, and it just ended up being, there seemed to be more interest. So we ended up adding a few more clubs, and I really didn't think it would grow as fast as it has. I really didn't want it to grow as fast as it has. Just because it becomes a whole nother thing to manage and deal with.
Sure.
But we've got a good approach on it. We have a communications liaison that's appointed by the club president for each club, and they're responsible to update the Google Calendar. That's all that basically is. It's a Google Calendar, and they have edit rights to add their information. They follow the same platform or I should say template of all the other events that are on the calendar. And we kind of encourage these clubs to help cross promote the events on the calendar. My net this evening is an informational net basically for our club. And I have probably a 5 to 10 minute section in my net where I read all of the nets, all of the events that happen throughout the course of the upcoming week. So we talk about the Bible net, list what frequency it's on, all that stuff, and then we talk about our Aries nets for all of the clubs, give all the frequencies, and we'd like to think that those other clubs within the co-op are doing the same for us, because that's what we want to do. We want to help promote the hobby and help promote their events, and when they need people to participate in an Aries event, if they're doing a parade or they're doing some community outreach or support where they're using their Aries group to do that, we'd like to be able to rely on our members of the co-op to help staff those events, because as you know, these clubs tend to kind of ebb and flow, and it makes it easier to have a larger pool of people to populate the events and to have content and to have people who are interested.
And
So,
I've noticed since we started the co-op that participation from other clubs, like outside of our club, when we have an event, the participation from people outside of our club is went up, just skyrocketed. Whereas before we had a pool of people to pull from, and that was about it. And now we get this pool is a lot bigger to pull from. So, like for instance, this weekend we have the Gravel Revival. It's a bike ride that the Nashville Club does the communications for, and we've got several from each of the other clubs that are coming in that probably, like I said, would not have even known about this otherwise. So it's been very good in that aspect.
and like the Gravel
Mm.
Revival is a great example. I pitched that to our club on the net and in our meeting last week as an opportunity to sharpen their Aries skills, to
Mm-hmm.
sharpen their tools, to be able to have an opportunity to go out and play a little bit of radio,
Mm-hmm.
and give back a little bit to the community. And one of the goals that I was talking about with our club this month was, the goal for next year is for our Aries group to be able to support other Aries groups next
Mm-hmm.
year. That's just more training opportunities. That's the one big thing. And I'm not a huge Aries guy. I'm more of a HFDX guy anyways, but
Mm-hmm.
I support my club and I support the Aries effort that our club has. And these opportunities are what keeps people interested in the hobby. So if we can give those opportunities to other people, then they have the ability to learn more, develop their skills more, participate more, enjoy the hobby more. Um, so that's what it's about. It's about
Mm-hmm.
sharing the hobby.
And if
Absolutely.
and if you get people to participate, they're going to enjoy it more, and they're going to, doing things like this event this weekend will, like he said, sharpen your skills. And when if there is an emergency, you will know how to program your radio, and it won't be a last second kind of thing. So I
That
think it's
is
a win-win for everybody.
that's a major thing because a lot of
It
people
is.
think, "Oh, I'm an emergency. I'm going to use this radio," but you need to know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Which using it on the repeaters during the nets, excellent way to do it. Know how to program it, sometimes by the faceplate. And the third thing that people don't think about, develop the relationship with the guy on the other side of the radio. Well, he will bring you some water if you need water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
And
a lot of things people don't realize that we should do or have
Mm-hmm.
to do when we have an Aries thing. You've got ICS 205s that need to be filled
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
You have all those things that are beneficial and will help people, with being able to filter into a disaster event and be able
Mm-hmm.
to, figure out what the plan is and how to, be a benefit and not be a burden.
Yeah. Well, I really respect you guys for what you're doing here. I think this is an awesome effort, and it sounds like it's working. It sounds like there's a lot of interest from the clubs around you. You said it was growing faster than you anticipated it to. So, and you're going to add another club here in a couple months. It sounds like so. It's
Yeah.
just a great. It's a great thing. I wish more people would do that. Yeah. Tom in the chat, he says we have 2 clubs in Yuma, and the next club is 60 miles away. So it's probably not possible to do everywhere, obviously, if you don't have clubs that are that close together. But there's clubs on top of clubs here in the North Texas area. So something like that up here would be a welcome change. I mean, and again, they've done something like that, similar to that. It's not like a
We didn't do
ongoing thing.
interrupt, but yeah, it died like you said
No,
during COVID.
but they do that meeting did. But they do. Was it once a month or was it once a quarter? They would, on top of the meeting, they would do a they would get on and do an EOC net where every EOC
That was a once a month thing for
yeah,
every county city inside Tarrant County.
that was a Tarrant County thing.
Part
Yeah.
of Races, the Tarrant County Races group. Any EOC that participated was a monthly net where they got on and they hit every repeater listed.
Right,
And they went
right.
down the list and hit every city so that your EOC can hit this repeater, that repeater,
Yeah.
that repeater.
You can see who you can hear and who you can't hear, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what kind of. And I think they did part of it on Simplex, if I'm not mistaken. And
A little bit was, yes.
yeah. And it was, but it's good to know those things. It's good to know, well, I'm at the EOC and I can hear all these other EOCs. And, you know, if there's a net control EOC, then you can, you know who you can relay to and from. And it's a good thing to test that every now and then.
Is her still doing their monthly Simplex net?
Last I knew they were. I haven't checked into a HearstNet in a long time because it's at 7 o'clock or 7:30,
Right,
I think,
I
on
know.
Sunday nights. So,
Yep.
And I'm a little busy on Sunday nights, but
I can't tell.
So,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've thought about trying to say, let's just chill and listen to the radio tonight and freaking do a check into the net, because they have an all-star system on that Hearst repeater. And we could get on here, Frank, and we could say, okay, guys, connect to this all-star hub. And then we just
blow it up.
totally destroy their all-star hub.
They will hate us.
They're going to be like, what do you guys do? Who is this? What's going on? So,
well, it's funny you mention that. And one of the things I've been talking about with Tony, and we haven't talked about it lately, was doing a net takeover. So,
yeah.
you know, we all know when everyone's nets are, and, you know, what we need to try to do is we need to try to go, all right, you know, this month or this week, rather, everyone from Nashville, let's jump into Sumner's net, or vice versa. Let's get everyone on the Nashville net, and let's get their net numbers up, you know, really high one week. Net controller's head is gonna, you know,
yeah.
So you know, the fun stuff like that. That's kind of like camaraderie. You have fun. You're there to support the other club, and that's really what, you know, that's part of what we're trying to do. And I think the co-op is something that's an important part, I think, of what Tony and I are trying to do at a bigger scale. You know, each of us are trying to, or we have been at least, making some cultural changes within our clubs. You know, clubs can get stagnant, and you get the same group of people that end up as, you know, officers, whether it be they want to do it or there's no one else to do it.
Or not even just officers. You get the same group of people
That's
that
right.
show up
Members.
to participate in whatever it is. You got, you know, I got close to 100 members in my club, and probably 25 to 30 is the core group that's always there for every event.
Yeah, and
You know?
we have, and every club has its own core group.
Yep.
And
So we're trying to expand that core group and bring other people in. That's a lot of it.
So, you know, trying to change the thought process, the approach that club officers and the way clubs run is another real integral important part of what I think has been a problem for a lot of clubs in this hobby. So, you know, we've taken a different approach. We've done some things differently on a club level. We've tried to, you know, listen to feedback from our members. And one of the things that we really try to not do is say no. It's very easy for club members or club officers for that matter, to say no. You know, and it could be something simple as, oh, hey, I want to do a talk on, you know, All-Star. I want to have a presentation on this, or I want to learn about that. And, you know, I consider myself, and I don't know if you've noticed or not, but on my email signature for my club email, I say that I'm a facilitator. I'm a club facilitator. I am the president, but I am the club facilitator. And my goal is to facilitate people, give them the ability to teach a class on a subject that they're passionate about. They don't have to know everything about it.
And that's one of the things I learned from Jon. So there's a lot of things that I know a little bit about, very little that I know a lot about. And he convinced me that I could, you know, teach a class on something as long as I knew something about it. Could, you know, get in there with another group of people, like-minded people, and just run with it. And I've done a couple of classes for him, and it was definitely not subject matters that I was an expert on, but I had a little bit of information, and
but you learned more, right? You learned more about trying to do it, and that's part of it. You know, not only, you know, if I'm facilitating Tony to be a speaker for a particular subject, first of all, I'm getting all of the people in the club the opportunity to learn about that, but I'm also motivating Tony to learn that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes a subject matter expert, or at least he sharpens his skills a bit
Mm-hmm.
in that particular subject. So, if you take that entire approach and you apply it to the hobby itself and how
Mm-hmm.
clubs work, that goes a long way. And
Mm-hmm.
it has, in my opinion, and of course I'm biased because I'm the president, but in my opinion, it's really re-energized our club.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten younger people more involved in doing things. The older members of the club, it's gotten them re-energized. It keeps them engaged. It gives them opportunities to share their knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
help share the hobby. So I think that's a real important part. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen with clubs where, you can tell they're dying.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that dynamic
Mm-hmm.
between those older people and younger people, and you don't have those, first of all, the older people have to have the right mindset. They have
Yeah.
to be
Yep.
willing to
Mm-hmm.
let the younger people do their turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got our trustee has been in our club since it was formed in 1972.
Uh-huh.
One of the only original members. There's a few of them left, but he's one of the only original members that's still very active. And by us doing what we're doing, and with him having the um, the ability to kind of accept that this is what needs to happen. This is a good thing for the club. The want to grow the club and continue it and see it happen. Um, it helps foster that dynamic between the younger members and the older members, and that
Mm-hmm.
keeps things moving and it keeps people coming back. And
One of the things that John implemented this year in Sumner County was special interest groups. So anytime anybody brought up any type, whether WinLink or APRS or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
CW, whatever, he will set up a special interest group, and we will do Zoom calls, or actually it's Zoom calls, it's
workspace, Google Workspace.
Google
Mm.
Workspace, and
Yeah.
people can get in there and work together and work
Mm-hmm.
out issues and learn with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's one of those things where nobody's an expert, so we all come in there with just a little bit of information and combine it together. And then by the time we're done, some of these go on for 2 or 3 weeks, some of them just go on for a couple of days, and then
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got a little bit better knowledge. And if it's something that more people want, we just continue it. It just continues
Yeah.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that
Mm-hmm.
I think is really good, a really good thing that he implemented this year in Sumner County, and it's been very very good thing.
Our club meetings basically consist of our business meeting, which I try to do as quick as possible, but I do try to
Mm-hmm.
keep it very professional, keep track of everything. We did get our 501c3 this year, had to
Mm-hmm.
change bylaws, do all that stuff. I did all that under my watch this year. It was a big lift at the beginning
I
of the
got
year.
I got
Mm-hmm.
lucky. The former president got all that done for
Yeah.
me. So
So we were able to get all that stuff done. So we want to make sure our business meeting is good and taken care of. But we try to get that done, and then what we try to do is do a 30-minute program. Okay, and what that really means is a 15-minute presentation just to see if there's interest in a topic. So WinLink or APRS or Meshtastic or whatever, right? We do a quick 15-minute presentation, and sometimes it's videos. We rely on you
Mm-hmm.
guys on YouTube to do these great videos, and we'll throw a couple of those out there and then see if there's interest. And then after we watch the video and we discuss it and ask some questions, we go, all
Mm-hmm.
right, who's interested in a special interest group? And we go, all right,
eh,
if you're interested, we're going to set up a time. We'll do a Google Meet every day for the next, 3 days, or 2 days a week for the next, 4 weeks, and everyone gets on Google Workspace, which is great, and they can be at home in front of their, computer, at their radio, being able to do things hands-on and participate in a live, video chat. And if there's an issue, they can share their screen. We can look at settings. We can talk about things. And this was
Sure.
all something that came to us from a club member who is a transplant from New York who came to our club, and he used to do this with his club up in New York. And it was like,
and
oh,
then
this
what I
it's
and
huge.
then
It's a
what and then what
great
I do
asset.
is John's meeting is the second Thursday of the month. So
Mhm.
when he has something good, I just transpose that into my meeting on the third Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
I use him
Okay.
as the guinea pig, if you will.
Yeah.
If people show interest, then I'm like, okay, maybe I can stir up some interest over here on that.
So
Mhm.
we've done some things on a smaller local level. Tony's been great about trying to keep his club active. Tony's got a great he is so lucky that he's coming to be the president of the oldest amateur radio club in the state of Tennessee, which is
Mm.
obviously Nashville Amateur Radio Club.
Mhm.
And they were very lucky to have their own house that the city lets them use. The county actually, right? It's county
It's
Mhm.
the Parks Department,
Parks
City
Department.
Parks Department.
So they
Okay.
give them a house, and they have this three-bedroom house with a garage, walkout kind of basement garage, and they have all their stuff in there. They've got rooms set up for different. They've got an HF room, they've got a UHF, VHF, and they have their own meeting space. And Tony, one of his goals was to make sure that they could try to get more people involved in utilizing the clubhouse. You got new
Yeah, because
members
before I
that
was the president, it was literally open about 3 hours a month, just before the club meeting and then after the club meeting. So one of the things I've tried to do is kind of take his special interest stuff and open up the clubhouse on weekends and Saturdays and have people come in. We've had the Boy Scouts come in and help them with their merit badge. We've had a contest weekend where we brought people in and let them get on the radio. People that aren't licensed at all, let them get on the radio and try it out and try to get them hooked on it. And then people that are just technicians come in and be able to get on HF. So I've done that, not as much as I would like. Unfortunately, my schedule doesn't permit it all the time, but as much as I can, I have at least opened it up a few more times throughout the year and got some more people in there and more participation.
Good.
I just saw a comment in the chat. I don't know if Tony, if you were watching the chat or not, but someone said, "Ask John about his bucket."
Yeah. Beaky said that.
I kind of skipped that one because I figured it was an inside
I
joke.
thought it was it sounds like an inside thing, but go ahead. If you want to talk about that, John, go ahead.
Oh man. So, one of the things that we wanted to do for our club was we had a special interest group for battery boxes.
Okay.
People wanted to build battery boxes, and I was like, all right, it's a great idea. And so Tony and I, we're good friends. We talk all the time. Tony's got like 5 battery boxes that he's built. He's got some crazy stuff. He's got the one that's so big you can't even lift it. You got to roll it around. And we were talking.
That's a 3,000 watt inverter, so I can pretty much run half
Nice.
the house on it if need be.
Awesome.
So Tony actually came up with the idea. Tony came up with the idea, instead of using a box, to use a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket. So I built a 5-gallon bucket, a battery bucket. And I think it works great. I can fit a 100 amp hour mini, LiPo battery in it, and I can put in, I've got a distribution block, and I've got, solar charger and all the stuff that you would need, switches, meter, all that stuff. And the guys give me a hard time about my bucket, and it's out of jealousy.
Sounds like it.
And
sounds like it's jealous.
They say some other things about my bucket, and I'm not going to say what it is because
But you know what?
Not appropriate.
You take the lid of that bucket, put a nice 2-inch pad foam on top, and then glue it down.
Right.
Your battery bucket becomes your seat.
That's right.
That's right.
For your station. So I think that's genius.
Yeah.
And if it's during the winter, it could warm up and keep your butt warm at the same time.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Double
duty. That's the story of the bucket. For some reason,
I think you're genius.
They continually give me a hard time about this bucket. That it was actually Tony's idea.
Which I think is great that it was my idea and he's the one who gets all the crap over it.
And that's the joke. That's the
I have
joke
a
in
plan. I have a plan that's similar to that. I might tell y'all after the stream. I'm not gonna say it on the air because I want to do a video out of it.
Yeah, the 5-gallon bucket works good.
Good to know. Yeah, I've got all the parts to build one out of a Pelican. It's not a Pelican, but it's like the Harbor Freight case. Like Mike K at MRD, he's got a bunch of them that he builds out of those cases, and I've got all the parts to do one. I just got to sit down and do it one day.
In your spare time?
In my spare time, yeah. Yep.
I know that feeling. I know
Sheesh.
that feeling. I say that though.
But
I say that I don't have any spare time, and I really actually sat down about 6 months ago and did the math on my days, and I came up with about 45 hours a week that I had nothing going on, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing in that time frame, but
well,
I'm
Is
definitely not getting 45 hours worth of
uh,
stuff done in a week. I can assure you
right,
of that.
right.
is that what you're sitting at the office for 40 hours supposed to be
Mhm.
working?
Unfortunately, I don't get to sit at an office. My office is mobile, so
Uh,
I drive for FedEx, so I ride around Nashville all day in traffic. So
You know
ah,
what? I knew a FedEx driver that put a mag mount on top of that truck every day he went in.
oh,
yep, yeah, yeah. There's,
I have a 20-meter ham stick on there and a
there you
2-meter
go.
70 centimeter. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a guy that I think he's still out there. He drives FedEx around this area, and he's on All Star a lot. So it's possible. Well, great. This is like I said a minute ago. This is an excellent effort. I think that you guys have done a fantastic job putting this together. If you go to hamcoop.com, that's the website that I'm looking at right now that you're seeing on the screen.
And
So
yes, it
it's-
does look like ham coop.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you answered this already. Is this only a Middle Tennessee thing, or are you looking to kind of take what you're doing here and create a framework that any large area can adopt?
Well, I mean, we're not, it's not like we're trying to keep it from people. I mean,
Yeah,
by all
yeah.
means, we'd love to see people do this. So there's other organizations. As a matter of fact, within Tennessee, there's an organization called the Tennessee Amateur Radio Association.
Hmm.
And they're actually a statewide organization. And it's similar to what we do with the co-op, except it's a little bit different. It's a little bit higher level. They have testing service. They provide training resources. They can provide speakers, and they can provide a club for people who aren't in a club. And they're a great organization,
Hmm.
Tennessee Amateur Radio Association. And the co-op is just like I said, it was mainly started from kind of a social side of things, with the hopes to break down those barriers and allow us to communicate in the case of an emergency.
Hmm.
And it's kind of grown a little bit, obviously, like I've said. Um, but I think doing clusters of kind of, you know,
Hmm.
co-ops like this within areas, like, our areas, basically the Nashville metro area. And, if it makes sense, that's what it should be. You know what I mean? It's a very rural area where I'm at. Just my county's borders Kentucky, and we're tobacco country out here. And we try to provide opportunities for our members to do ham things in all of the counties. If they want to do something, there's always something on the calendar, and that's what's great. Could
Yeah.
this be done everywhere? Sure. I mean,
Absolutely.
I,
I think I encourage people to take an initiative and do it in your own area.
Hmm.
I mean, because the at the end of the day, it's all about helping everybody out, helping out
Right.
other hams, getting hams involved, getting new hams involved, getting old hams back involved,
Hmm.
and making this hobby thrive. That's what
Hmm.
it's about. So I mean, I travel around to a lot of the club meetings. I spend, oddly enough, I don't know what the deal is, but every Thursday in and around Middle Tennessee, that's where all the club meetings are. Why they're all on Thursdays
yeah,
beyond me, but
yeah. Robertson
pretty
is
much
the first
Oh
Thursday.
boy.
Sumner's the second. Tony's
mine's the
yeah.
third.
Nashville's the third.
I think Wilson
Goodness.
County is the only one that's on Saturday.
Yeah,
Stones River is on Thursdays, so they're
yeah.
all on Thursdays for some reason. So I spend all my Thursdays traversing around and talking to people and trying to get more people
But
involved.
you made a comment about, miles, 60 miles away. Well, to be
Yes.
honest with you, 60 miles for us isn't that much.
Yeah.
When it comes
Yeah.
to ham stuff,
Hmm.
any opportunity to get out of the house and do some ham stuff, it's probably the reason why my house suffers from ham neglect.
Hmm.
Um, and, any opportunity we can to get out and do those things, I wouldn't let 60 miles be the limiting factor. I
No.
think if you looked at what, a repeater could cover, um, if you obviously topography has a lot to do with it, but
Hmm.
groups of 5 or 6 counties, or 2 or 3 counties, even any association that you can have with the adjoining counties is a benefit for you from an emergency standpoint. And again, ham people, especially repeater people, can be very territorial. And that's really
Mhm.
what this is about. It's about saying, hey, there is no territories. We're all collaborating. We're all friends. We all want to help. We're all here for the same reason. So I think that, one of the things that I would do is if you're in a club right now and you have a neighboring club that you guys kind of feel like it's the Jets and the Sharks, um, that's the first club you need to reach out to and go,
Mhm.
hey, let's share our events. Let's cross
Mhm.
promote our events.
Mhm.
Those club officers need to get together and have lunch and
Mhm.
Because
talk
like
about what they're doing because I share things with Tony that I hope helps his club and he shares things with me that help my club. And that's the
and
other
it
part
it
of it.
it
So
breaks
we're a
down
network.
barrier. It breaks
Yeah.
down barriers.
Yes.
People have bad experiences with clubs. I had a bad experience with one of the clubs that's actually in the co-op now,
Mm.
and I won't get into it, but it was
Mhm.
a couple years ago, and for a couple of years I had nothing to do with that club whatsoever because of one bad experience with one bad person, and I finally was like, you know what, it's not worth letting that one person ruin it. So I went back to that
Mhm.
club and started going, and now they're a member of the co-op, and I have a really good time going to that club, and it's great. And it's that helped me break down that mental block of my own.
Mhm.
Just like, I'm not letting this one bad experience, run this for me. I'm going to go out there.
Sure.
There's more people than just that one person in that club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, and I
Well,
hope that helps everybody. If you've had a bad experience with a club, give them another chance.
mhm.
People change, leadership changes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Mhm.
different. It
Mhm.
it might not be the same as it was the last time you checked it out. So
Mhm.
go give it a chance. Check it out, see what's going on. If you
Mhm.
don't like it, move on. But
Mhm.
I think everybody should at least give everybody a chance.
Brian, thank you for the super chat. He says he did a POTA presentation for the Williamson County Aries Club, and he's interested in doing one for you guys. So, I guess reach out to them on the Ham Co-op website. Is that good enough, guys?
Yeah, or just you can email me at w4jdm@sumnerradio.org and we'll coordinate and we can get you on the schedule on all the clubs if you want. So
Yeah,
Sweet.
definitely.
Frank, do we have any questions that we haven't touched on yet?
No, not. It's
Okay.
been kind of light in the chat tonight.
Yeah, a lot of discussion about people and their own clubs. But yeah, no, that's
Some
good though.
battery box tips and what to use for hard shells.
Good.
yeah, cat litter buckets.
I
That's
love
an
the
option.
idea of just the 5-gallon bucket from Home
Yeah.
Depot.
I think that's a great idea.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I updated that idea, and it's not in here, but it got a 5-gallon square bucket. So you actually have the flat sides on all four sides. You still have the 5 gallons, still can fit everything in there that you need to fit in there, but you have the flat sides to be able to mount everything too, and it makes it a little bit easier to mount.
Yeah, I've got everything mounted on the top of the bucket for the most part. I've got a couple little small LEDs on the sides because I built it mainly also to take camping, so I could use it for a power bank for my CPAP machine because I'm a fat guy who
Yes.
dies while he sleeps. So
Mm-hmm.
I
I
needed to have something
cannot
for that.
I cannot sleep without it. So
Yeah.
I took the you can Google whatever brand it is, 12-volt adapter, cut off the stupid car end and put power poles straight into your battery system.
That's right.
That's what I did with mine. Made a video
And
out of it.
And of course, I waited till John had built his box before I came up with the plan with the square box. So I let him test the round
Love
idea
it.
first.
Of course. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time tonight. This is excellent information. I hope to see more clubs doing this in the future, and I really hope that you guys get that 7th club in there in January, and more clubs can jump on the bandwagon. How far away is Murfreesboro from you guys? Because you should hit up KM4ACK.
Oh,
They're
that's Stones River.
That's
Yeah,
Stones River.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the
And
Stones
Jason-
River Club.
Okay.
and Jason's actually doing a presentation for me this Thursday night
Yep.
Good.
at our club meeting for
Yep.
APRS. Oddly
Okay.
enough,
Of course
I know
it is.
everybody.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
everybody's surprised about that.
It's going to be it's a huge surprise. Ask
Yep.
him to do one about Windows operating systems next. See what he says about that.
Yes.
Well, I'm actually he was at the co-op picnic yesterday, and I was telling him about a Windows computer that I was trying to to convert over to Linux, and told him that I was cussing him because I couldn't get it to work. So I'm actually going to bring it to him on Thursday and pawn it off on him. I told him he could either if he could get it to work or toss it in the trash. I didn't really care. I was done.
There you go. That's good.
I just want to say one thing before we kind of wrap
Go
up.
ahead.
I know
Sure,
we're
go
getting
ahead.
close. You know, the hobby, we only have so much time on this earth, obviously. We spend time doing our hobbies, things that we enjoy. If you're a club guy and you want to be in a club and you don't like the club you're in, do something about it. Get involved. Try to make the change that you want to see happen in your club.
I kind of took that. Jason, you did a video, I believe it was at the beginning of 2024, where you said if you didn't like what was going on the repeaters, if you didn't, nobody was on the repeaters, stop complaining about it and go out there and throw out your call sign. I did it every day for the entire year of 2024. I threw my call sign out there on at least 3 different repeaters every day, at least twice a day, on my way to work and on my way home. And sometimes I got responses. There were times that crickets. But I was done complaining, and I took your advice, and I just threw my call sign out there. And I met a lot of new people like that. And then John finally got tired of hearing my voice, and so he started answering me every day. So
I felt bad for him. Felt sorry for him. He sounded very lonely.
That's good.
I love it. I love it. And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, that's great. Well, this was, like I said, this was a great presentation. I'm glad you guys stopped me in Huntsville and wanted to come on. I think this is excellent information to be shared. So
we appreciate it very much.
Jason, I've gotten a bunch of emails and comments today about how much everyone really liked the event that we did yesterday, our ham co-op picnic.
Good.
And I want to be I just want to tell you, I haven't committed that we're going to do it again, but I think that we probably will. And I want to extend an invitation to you to come out and participate.
And Tank.
And Tank. That's right.
Yes.
And Tank. Can't forget Tank. Extend an invitation to you guys to come out and participate. We've learned a lot of lessons in how it went yesterday. Know we're going to do things a little bit differently, but the whole point behind it is it's a very educational kind of a centered piece, and we're hoping to do it again, and we'll just see what the co-op says, what the clubs want to do.
How many people did you have yesterday?
I think we probably had anywhere between 75 and 100, probably. Okay. And I think that's a real good turnout.
It's a good turnout for the first time you've done it, especially. So, okay.
Because when we first started talking about it, we weren't sure if there'd be more than 10 people show up. And that was the 10 people that were going to be involved putting it together and doing the presentation.
You just don't know.
So, we had no expectations whatsoever. So
Yeah.
UK Mike says you need Tank's beans.
Yeah.
Tank's beans.
Tank's beans are great. Tank's beans are great.
Yeah, we'd love to come out for that if you guys do it again. That'd be great. If we can work it out calendar wise and whatnot, that'd be awesome to do that for sure.
You'll have my email dropped in our private chat.
And the weather here this time of year is absolutely gorgeous. We had really great weather, and it was a little warm in the middle of the afternoon, but it's just started to cool down, and our fall is finally getting here, and so it worked out great for us. We were very fortunate. We had a lot of great people that showed up.
Yep.
Good.
And I want to thank everybody that did show up.
Yes.
We appreciate it a lot. And people stayed and helped after the fact and cleaning up and everything like that. And it was a really good all around event. And it was a lot more than I expected. And I'm thankful that everybody showed up and helped out.
Yeah. I'm just totally humbled and tickled.
Thanks to all our sponsors as well. We had a bunch of sponsors with free gifts and giveaways and everything like that, and it was really good.
We had a donor that gave us a brand new HOA flagpole antenna at about $1,000 value.
Wow!
And he also had an MFJ external tuner that also had about $1,000 value. So our grand prize was that package.
Oh, nice!
So one lucky winner got that, and then we had a custom Bowie knife that was probably about a $300 knife. Yeah, that was our
You did not
place.
let me know.
Made by one of our members.
Yeah, made by one of our members. And then third
knives.
place was a custom fishing rod.
Give that guy my email address because we'll talk.
Right.
We'll do a Tank Radio custom knife.
So we had all sorts of great giveaways and little stuff, big stuff. We had gift certificates. DigiRig.
I want some fishing lures.
Yeah, we got fishing lures.
Nice.
So we had a lot of
Very
great
cool.
sponsors, and we've got pictures of the event. We're going to put everything together and get it on our website so people can see what the event's about. So
Good.
But
Good.
thank you guys for having
Yeah,
us. Really do
absolutely.
Thank you very
appreciate the
much.
opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was great information. I'm glad that you guys took the time out to stop me in Huntsville and come on tonight. So thank you very much for the insight. This is good info.
Thank you.
So, yep, you bet. All right, Frank, you want to talk about your I need to tell everybody about the
Yes, sir.
the
Yes,
RV
sir.
live stream that we're coming up.
Yep.
So we're going to come up to, where is this? We're going to go over here to my Unplugged channel here, and I'm going to, about 15 minutes from now, we're going to spin that up and go live for the next video podcast for RV Base Camp. But go ahead, Frank. I'll put it up here on the website for you.
Yep. At the right now, the next pre-order Tank Radio limited time option is live right now. It's being sold over on Jason's Grapevine Amateur Radio site. It is the Tank pint glass. Look at that timing.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a 16-ounce pint glass with the amazing Tank Radio logo, and it has a green bottom because why not?
That's cool.
This is
pretty
a
cool.
limited time order item. If you want your Tank Radio pint glass, go ahead and pre-order it now, because once the pre-orders are taken down later this month, they are not going to be up on the site again. So go ahead, order yours today. And also, it really helps me, Tank Radio, doing all the awesome, amazing stuff I do, and all the supporting the traveling I do for the channel, getting out to the conventions, and maybe be able to head out y'all's way to win a Bowie knife.
There you go.
Right.
Plus it's Nashville. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
True.
those
Absolutely.
little girls.
While we're out there.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat right
Go ahead.
now.
Yeah, go ahead.
But please, if you want a pint glass, get yours pre-ordered, because we need to get that number up a little bit more. So I can't wait to get those ordered.
Your buddy Mike came along and ordered like 4 of them the other day.
I figured as much.
yeah.
Talked to him for a minute. He's like, "Oh, those are live." I was like, "Oh, yeah,
yeah, he got it. So.
He's amazing and awesome."
Yeah, he's great. All right, guys, 73 to all. Thanks for joining us, Tony and John. Especially thanks to you guys once again. And we'll see you guys. You guys head over to the RV channel. We're gonna go live over there with the usual crew. And give us about 15 minutes, and we'll be live over there. So 73 all, and have a good night.
73.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Adios.